Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all fine. Yes, today we are going to see a very important question, that is structure of glucose. Structure of glucose means what? See, for smaller compound means we may know that very small arrangement of compound. For example, copper sulfate, one copper, one sulfur, four oxygen. But if you take the structure of glucose, which having many number of carbon atom like C6H12O6, so nearly it having 24 atoms. So how the atoms are arranged, how the atoms are bonded with each other, we must know, right? So how they found that arrangement is like that, that is also we are going to see today. Yes, so structure of glucose. First let me tell what is the molecular formula for glucose. C6H12O6. Okay, so the C6H12O6, how they are bonded each other. Okay, here some specific character of that glucose we'll see first. First one is it is an kind of aldohexose. Why this is called aldohexose? Hexane means 6 carbon. Aldehyde functional group is present. So we can say aldohexose. Okay. Then how many chiral carbon we have? In another word we can say asymmetric carbon atom. So asymmetric or chiral means which having 5 chiral carbon atoms. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 5 chiral or asymmetric carbon atom is possible. Okay. So when asymmetric carbon or chiral carbons are possible, we can say they are optically active. Yes, they are optically active. Okay. What type of rotation? Usually we'll say D-glucose. So why we are saying D-glucose, which will rotate in solution formation, it will rotate the plane polarized right towards clockwise direction. Because of that, which is textorotatory. Textorotatory. Then textorotation means we will say D. Okay. So apart from this, we are going to learn how the structure is elucidated. What do you mean elucidated? The formation of structure. So the first point, see, because of textorotatory, we can call it dextrose also, right? So there are 8 points. If you know the 8 points, you can write your own as a structure of glucose. Okay. The first point is nothing but based on the two process. What are the two process? Molecular weight determination and elemental analysis. Okay. So in research, elemental analysis one part. Okay. So how many carbons are there? How many hydrogens are there? How many oxygen? Like if you find, that is called a elemental analysis. Okay. So elemental analysis and also molecular weight determination. Molecular weight determination helps to find the number of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. That is nothing but the molecular formula for glucose is nothing but C6H12O6. Okay, so this is the first point. Elemental analysis and molecular weight determination confirms the molecular formula, that is C6H12O6. Okay, next we are going to treat with this glucose red phosphorus with high triodic acid. If you treated that glucose solution with red phosphorus and HI, that means high triodic solution, it will give some product. What type of product they are forming? Glucose. For example, you can take glucose as a C6H12O6. We don't know the structure, so simply we are writing C6H12O6 with HI and red phosphorus, which gives a mixture of product, that is N-hexane. CH3, CH4, CH2 4 times and CH3. N hexane, that means CH3, CH2, 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 CH3. Or plus 2 iodohexane, CH3, CH2, 3 times. Then CH, we have one substitution, CH2, CH3. So this is called 2 iodohexane. Hexane, second carbon, we have the iodine. So 2 iodohexane. From this structure, we can confirm all the 6 carbons are bonded each other in a linear chain. Okay. So what's the conclusion from this reaction? We can confirm all the 6 carbon in this glucose are continuously one by one connected in linear structure. This is important. Okay. So just now we have found which having 6 carbon in the linear structure. Okay. What's the third question? If you treated with hydroxylamine as well as hydrogen cyanide, it gives oxime and cyanohydrin product. What's the third point? Third point. First we are going to treat with the oxime, that means hydroxylamine, NH2OH group, and then we are going to treat with the hydrogen cyanide. If you treat with the hydroxylamine, it gives a oxime product. If you treat with the hydrogen cyanide, it gives a cyanohydrin product. See, from this we can understand which having any one carbonyl carbon, that means C double bond O is present, because the aldehyde ketone will react with hydroxylamine. Already we have studied in that 12th lesson. Aldehyde ketone compounds will give oxime product with hydroxylamine, cyanohydrin product with hydrogen cyanide. From that we can confirm glucose having carbonyl carbon, C double bond O. The reaction also we can see now. What is that? Glucose you can write CHO, CH2OH, sorry, CHOH, CH2OH, right? Okay, actually reaction with hydroxylamine, that means NH2OH, what will happen? It will go as water. So CH double bond NOH will form. CH double bond NOH. With the same CHOH 4 times and also CH2OH. So we will get the oxime product, glucose oxime product. Okay, and also we can treat with the hydrogen cyanide, HCN. So how will you treat the HCN double bond OH? See, H plus you add in the oxygen, C in the carbon, not in the hydrogen. Double bond becomes single bond. So what is the product? CH is connected with the CN. We can write CN, CH, then OH. Here as usual CH, OH. 4 times CH2OH. This is called glucose cyanohydrin compound. So from these two reactions we can confirm the glucose compound having carbonyl carbon, that is nothing but C double bond O group is present. Okay. Next we are going to treat with oxidizing agents. First glucose treated with bromine water. It is called mild oxidizing agent. Okay. It is mild oxidizing agent. Followed by we are going to use nitric acid. It is strong oxidizing agent. So with mild oxidizing agent which gives gluconic acid. What type of acid? Gluconic acid. Here it gives glucoric acid. It is also called saccharic acid. Okay. We will see the equation. CHO, that means aldehyde. CHOH group how many times? 4 times. CH2OH. If you treat with, actually I should write middle, it is easy. Okay. Anyway, if it is treated with nitric acid, it gives both side acid group. Primary alcohol also undergoing oxidation, aldehyde also undergoing oxidation. So it will give glucaric acid, CHOH 4 times, then COOH. This is called a glucaric acid, also called saccharic acid. If you use the mild oxidizing agent bromine, only this aldehyde group will undergo oxidation, will give gluconic acid. The primary alcohol will not undergo any oxidation. From that we can again confirm one end of the carbon. We have that aldehyde like carbonyl carbon. Okay. See, carbonyl carbon which is present in the end of the carbon means that is only aldehyde, because ketone cannot exist in the last carbon. So from that we can confirm with mild oxidizing agent which gives gluconic acid, means aldehyde is oxidized into acid. From that we can confirm one end of that glucose aldehyde group is present. From that, what do you understand? One end of the glucose we have aldehyde group. Okay. What happened the other end? If it is primary alcohol, it will give acid with the nitric acid. So another end we have the alcohol group. So one group aldehyde we have confirmed by using mild oxidizing agent. Another end with alcohol group by confirming with the nitric acid. Okay, next. Now we are going to confirm that aldehyde group. How will you confirm? We know the test for aldehyde group. What are the test for aldehyde group? Tolerance reagent, Fehling solution. So fourth point, with the tolerance reagent. What is tolerance reagent? Who will tell? Ammonical silver nitrate. So in the ammonical silver nitrate, silver is precipitated. Then Fehling solution, which gives copper sulfate and potassium sodium tartrate. Here also cuprous oxide, red color precipitate will form. If it is formed, we can confirm that compound containing aldehyde functional group, right, which is giving. So we can confirm that aldehyde group is present in the glucose. Okay. So what is the reaction, sir? Right? So the same, just aldehyde group will oxidize into acid. That's all. COOH, CHOH 4 times, then CH2OH, because of any one. If you take tolerance reagent, it will give silver as a precipitate with glucose. Suppose glucose added with the Fehling solution, it will give same gluconic acid with the cuprous oxide red precipitate. So we can confirm the tolerance reagent Fehling solution also undergoes the oxidation, or reducing agents help for oxidation of all glucose. Okay. Now, fifth point. What's the fifth point? We are going to treat with acetic anhydride. The glucose compound is treated with acetic anhydride. So acetic anhydride means CH3 C double bond O, C double bond O, CH3, acetic anhydride. If it is treated with that compound which gives pentaacetate product. What type of product? Pentaacetate. From that we can confirm 5 acetate groups are substituted. Penta means 5, right? So 5 acetate groups substituted means, familiarly we know that OH group may substituted with the acetyl group. Okay. So from this test we can confirm that glucose having 5 OH group. Again I am saying 5 OH groups are confirmed from this test. If you treat with acetic anhydride, glucose gives pentaacetate. From that we are confirming which having 5 OH group. Okay. What's the reaction, sir? CHO, CHOH 4 times, then CH2OH. Yes, 4 OH, 1 more OH. So we have 5 OH. Will react with acetic anhydride. Will give CHOCOCH3. How many times? 4 times with CH2OCOCH3. So pentacetate compound we got. From that we are confirming 5 OH group is present. Now we are going to treat with dehydration. So we can try to dehydrate. So if you heat, what will happen? Is there 5 OH group we confirmed. Any one carbon may have 2 OH group, you know. How will you confirm? Each carbon having each one OH group, which is not undergoing any, do not undergoes any dehydration reaction. Dehydration means a removal of water. So which is not giving any water molecule on dehydration reaction. From that we can confirm each OH group attached with a single carbon atom, separately connected with each one carbon atom. So all 5 OH groups are attached with all different 5 carbon atom. We can confirm from this dehydration process. Okay. Next one, we can go with the 7th one, gluconic acid. With 1 minute, I wrote the number wrongly, which is 7th point. Okay, do not undergo any dehydration reaction. Then the 8th point, which gives the structure based on Fischer projection formula. That's why we are saying D plus glucose. So glucose we know very well, but actually we have to call it D plus glucose. Okay, shall we write the structure of glucose by applying all these 8 points? Yes, 1N we have what? Aldehyde group. Another N we have primary alcohol. Okay, then each carbon we have one OH group. So H, OH, H, OH. But here small change, OH, H. You should write clearly. Then one more H. There are carbons. This is called a structure of glucose. How many chiral carbons are there? First tell me what is chiral carbon. One carbon attached with 4 different compounds. That carbon is called asymmetric carbon or chiral carbon. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chiral carbons we have in our glucose structure. Okay. Anyway, we have analyzed many things. The structure of glucose we found. But do you know the beauty of that? See, if you treated this compound with a certain test which is not obeyed, okay, so from that we are going to know this glucose also having some other cyclic form. Yes, the next we are going to learn cyclic form of glucose. How will you find the structure of cyclic glucose? If you treated with aldehyde, usually if you treat it with sodium bisulfate, it will give crystalline bisulfate compound. But this glucose linear structure, that open chain glucose, does not give the sulfide compound. Okay, which is not giving sulfide compound, and also which does not react with Schiff's reagent. Usually aldehyde will undergo reaction with the Schiff's reagent, but we confirmed aldehyde group is present, but which is present in some other form. Okay, that is why which is not react with the sulfate compound as well as Schiff's reagent. Okay, and also glucose not oxidized after. When you treat it with acetic anhydride, you will get pentaacetate. You know, the pentaacetate compound does not reduce tolerance reagent as well as failing solution. So from these 4 tests, we can confirm glucose also having some other form. Okay, some other forming, right? So that is nothing but cyclic structure of glucose. Okay, so how they form which having another form? If you crystallize, we know that glucose solution. If you crystallize under the different condition, which gives 2 crystalline compounds with 2 different two different melting point. Okay, crystalline glucose, which forms two different type of crystalline compound with two different melting point. So we can confirm the glucose having two different form. So how it may form the two different form? Very easy. Listen, aldehyde group present as well as many OH group present. So one of the OH group is bonded with aldehyde group, form cyclic compound. What happened? See, in the glucose we have many OH group, one aldehyde group. The one of the hydroxy group reacted with that C double bond O group, that is aldehyde group, which forming cyclic structure. Okay. Now what happened? The achiral aldehyde group not attached with the four different atom. So four different atom attached with any carbon, we can say chiral, but aldehyde not a chiral carbon. But what happened? Because of this bond formation, it becoming chiral. That aldehyde group also becoming chiral because that oxygen is common, which is gone for oxide bridge. Okay, so very important, aldehyde achiral compound converted into chiral compound. Because of this conversion, what type of conversion? That aldehyde achiral is converted into chiral, no. Because of this conversion, it may give two forms of isomer. Okay, so the compound or two forms differ only based on C1 carbon or any one carbon, means we can say that is anomer. What is anomers? Very important, anomers. There are two forms. The two forms differ only based on any one carbon, or if you say correctly C1 carbon, that's why we can say that is anomers. See, this anomer form having 5 carbon in the ring structure, then 1 oxygen in the ring structure. If you write the structure, you can understand, right? Linear structure of that open structure of glucose. Actually, how will you write? OH, H, that is carbon. Then H, OH, H, OH, CH2, OH. Okay, right? It may give alpha form as well as beta form. Okay, we are going to name the two form anomers, alpha form, beta form. How? See, there are same structure, it may form cyclic structure. How? There is oxygen. Okay, CH2 OH, H, there is OH, so H, OH. There is hydrogen in the top, so OH, H. Top we have OH, hydrogen, OH. Then OH, H. Only you want to change this OH, H reverse manner, you will get another beta form. CH2OH, H, H, OH, OH, H, H, OH. But only the thing here, you have to make it inverse, HOH. So this is alpha form, this is beta form. This is called another name which is similar with the Piron structure. See, 5 carbon, 1 oxygen in a single ring means we can say Piron. That's why we can say Pironous form. Pironous form. This is alpha Pironous form. This is beta Pironous form. Okay. So just like name. Okay. But even though which have two different forms. Okay. Which having specific rotation also. Right. You want to convert from pure glucose to D-glucose to any one form. For alpha form, if you want to convert, what type of rotation you want to do? 118-degree rotation. For beta form, we got to do 18.7 degree. Okay, you can, which have some specific rotation value, that is 118 and as well as 18.7. If you want convert one alpha form to beta form or beta form to alpha form, you have to rotate 53 plus 53 angle. If you rotate, you will get the one form converted to another form. That is called the muta rotation. What is that? Muta rotation. Right? So this is also under 1 mark. By converting one form to another form by rotating 53 angle, that process called a muta rotation. Okay, right? So we have confirmed about cyclic compounds also. At last we are going to learn about epimers. What do you mean epimers? Epimers means, see, the two forms differ only based on one asymmetric carbon atom. So differ because of an asymmetric carbon, right? Because of one asymmetric carbon, the compound or two forms are differ means which form two different configuration means we can say that isomers are epimers. Okay, so they are differ based on only one chiral carbon, that is asymmetric carbon means we can say epimers. Okay, this process conversion of one form to another form, one epimer to another epimer is called a epimerization. Okay, what is epimer? Epimers means the compounds differ only based on one chiral carbon, that is called epimers. Conversion of one form to another form is called epimerization. We can see the structure of epimers also. So D-glucose, how do you write? CHOH, H, OH, OH. See, HOH you should not change. That is very important. As per book you should write. This is called D-glucose, right? The D-glucose, if undergoes C4 change, which undergoing C4, that means the fourth carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth carbon alone, which having some changes, interchange the H and OH. So H, OH, OH, H, then here also OH. There is a change compared with the D-glucose. This is called galactose. What's the name of the compound? This is D-glucose. This is called D-galactose. Okay. If you change that C2 carbon, undergone the changes, this chiral carbon is different means CHO, OH, H, OH, H, H, OH, H, OH, then CH2OH. See, if you check this, all the conformants, they are differ with this group. If you compare these two, only differ with this group. Okay, so because of differ in their one chiral carbon or asymmetric carbon, the epimers are formed, right? So this is called epimers. Okay, we will see the remaining in the next class. Thank you.